do it.
The band has been around for more than a decade. You have released like 5 albums. How do you keep yourself motivated?
Well, it's the only thing that you really know how to do, you know. So, I mean, you're probably employable, but I'm just completely unemployable, you know. So, well, yeah, well, no, I mean, I can't even drive, so I can't even be a taxi driver or anything, you know. So, it's the only thing that we do really well. So when it's all you got, you have to ensure that, you know, it lasts.
And one more thing before we start the final face-off. I will be the one to watch you fall. I came down to crash and burn your beggar's banquet. Come on!
Where do you get your inspiration then? It's like, what inspires you most?
That's the $1 million question, I don't know.
It's just all inside you, and it just kind of comes out in different ways at different times. You know, you kind of, yeah, it comes also from sort of a certain amount of discipline, I think. You know, you have to kind of keep your hand in, otherwise, you know, you get out of practice of creating, you know, so you kind of have to sort of keep at it. So I think, yeah, inspiration through discipline, and also just remaining open and just allowing things to come out of you, and try not to censor yourself too early, you know, try and allow things to come out and remain open to whatever is instinctually passing through you before you decide if that's what you want people to hear or not.
Ever since you released your first album, you became sort of big, and especially back in England. You guys were in your mid-20s back then. How has it been like?
We were in our early 20s, you know, when it all kicked off. It was, you know, it was really good for us, because I guess it was satisfying to see that people were interested that early on in your career. But we still had to we really had to build it up from nothing. It wasn't an instant overnight success.
Yeah.
We played lots of toilets,
Oh, yeah.
but every band should play toilets. It's really important. But it gave us something. It gave us something really to do. It gave us something to really get our teeth stuck into, and it allowed us to begin this path of kind of growing and improving as an artist very, very early on. You know, because every time we had success, we had to sort of, from our point of view, artistically better that success. So, you know, from a very early age, you kind of, you work on getting better, becoming a better musician, writing better songs, improving every aspect of what you do.
Do you think that there's any, like, disadvantages of like, basically growing out in public, like, whole world watching you? Or?
Well, it's not as if we're some kind of reality show, so it's not really, it's not kind of, it's exploitative in that way. A disadvantage to it, I'm not sure really, because it's kind of just the way that it is. I mean, the thing is, what I mean by this reality show thing is that we're somehow protected, I guess, by our art, in that it's, you know, we are not actually on display all the time.
I was alone, falling free, trying my best not to forget what happened to us, what happened to me, what happened as I let it slip.
How do you see like rock world or rock industry nowadays? Is it like, in my opinion, it has become more and more commercial basically, and bands haven't got that time to develop.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. The bands don't have time to develop, you know, and make mistakes and find a voice through making mistakes in public, you know. But it's just what happens to the music world is symptomatic, and it's a microcosm of the bigger picture, which is just the entire fucking planet is becoming more commercial, you know. And it's, everything is everything's being branded, everything's being homogenized. So it's not surprising that music, that the forces, the people who have the money in music are pulling it in that direction as well. You know, it's McDonald's music, essentially.
Yeah. Do you consider rock being dangerous anymore?
You know, I don't, to be honest with you, I'm really not sure if music really has been that dangerous since the late 60s. Punk was kind of more of an art movement, really, I think. What effect it had on society, I'm not completely sure. It had an enormous effect on art. But to actually have a sort of effect on society, until you start getting into things that U2 do, it's questionable. But then you need the success, and you need the infrastructure, and you need enough people to listen to you to have an effect, and that's what you two have, you know.
Society usually blames music, you know, for its ills sometimes, more than I think.
It's kind of the other way around, really. I mean, all good music reflects the society that we live in, holds a mirror up to society. And
I was alone, falling free.
Do you have any like rituals before you go on stage?
There's a lot of rock music involved, loud rock music, trying to warm up, and then just a lot of shouting, a bit of a group hug before we run on stage, kind of thing.
Hi, we're Placebo, and you're watching The Voice.